Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 21 and 22 of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. Very excited to be here, getting towards the pointy end of G-Witch. All things being equal, this should be the second to last video, so we're here. It's as I said, the pointy end. Let's see where we go. First and foremost, YouTube comments from last week. I've got 3 here, most of which are pretty long, and again, we'll break them down piecemeal, of course. And just to preface some of this discussion, and I guess going forward, I'm always a little bit worried when I get negative on the channel, express negative opinions, right? Because, again, who clicks on a reaction video to see a guy poo-poo your favorite show? That's no fun. And credit to the patrons, I think they've done a good job at rebutting in a, constructive way. I think this because reasons. Okay, well, I think this. That's what this is about, I guess. And again, I think the internet has made everybody very all or nothing on things. It's either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. Just because I say that I don't like certain parts of something doesn't mean I'm throwing it all out, right? It's not the baby out with the bathwater. It's just an opinion. And again, I'm continuing to watch the show and to have a good time. So it can't be too bad. It's never as bad as you think, I guess. Molly, first up here. Prospera is the best and has done nothing wrong. You leave that hot mum alone. 2 lies and 1 truth, maybe. Prospera is a bad human, but you can think what you want to think about the look of that bad human. And with this next point, the show, kind of my comments last week about me not thinking it needed to elevate as much as it has, become as wide as it has, and become as all-encompassing as it has, and do a million things at once. On a certain level, I'm with you. It did need something beyond the dueling game. I thought that something beyond the dueling game was just going to focus in completely on Quiet Zero, which I think is pretty interesting. If we just made it like a MacGuffin show about Quiet Zero being like literally a wish or like god powers or something, then like I think that's pretty strong. Where you lose me is Space Assembly League focus on way too much of the minutiae of Dawn of Fold. That's where we get a little bit too much. But that's not really where this point goes anyway. It needed to say something or figure out something it wanted to say. And again, comparing to Utena constantly is unfair, but I think every single episode of Utena has something that it wants to say about society, politics, genre, medium, anything, right? It wants to say things, and I think it succeeds in doing so. Less so for Penguin Drum, which I think has a few episodes that are kind of head scratchers, but overall I think we got to a pretty cool message there by the very end of it. I don't have the confidence we're going to do the same thing here. Or I guess I should say it's saying things, but I don't think those things are particularly strong. Like, it's very hand-holdy, I guess. Let's all, sing Kumbaya and whatnot. I don't know, maybe that's unfair. There is some stuff there, as I've talked about, but will it follow through on it all the way? We'll say. We'll say as time moves on. And this was in reference to Miorine's little garden going kaput. Apparently, Anshi's garden does similar. If you're talking about the gap between the movie and the TV show, then I don't think that gets weird. I don't know about all that, because I don't remember the Sunlit Garden going kaput like that. But again, it's been a long time since I watched the end of Utena. Next up we have Ragashingo. A lot going on, and yes, the pacing and flow is falling apart. I get the feeling that these criticisms aren't just limited to me. It might be a wider opinion of this thing. And I think part of my disappointment comes from the fact that I do think some of these plot points were set up quite well, and I would love to see them expanded upon in a better way, instead of, again, being kind of rushed through in last week's kind of episodes. And I think from when I read this comment 5 days ago, it kind of goes into a few clarifications, which I do appreciate, right? Like, half of this thing is, as I said last week, looking for what is actually happening before trying to analyze it and think about how I feel about it. So here we're like, okay, well, Prospera, she's trying to put this plan into action finally. Part of that plan is to get rid of the Gundams. Obviously, they had enough firepower to stop whatever she wanted to do upcoming, and also she's holding a grudge from the whole Ox Earth perverting the Vanidus type thing, bailing them out, moving that technology towards warfare. The themes of the show coming through there pretty evidently. Prospera, 2 birds, 1 stone. Next up, we have something that I guess existed in the subtext throughout the entire show, the Space Assembly League, right? And Benneret and they're kind of failing, or at least failing to capitalize on the mobile suit market in a proper way. There's a reason why, unprovoked, supposedly, a bunch of different branches of Bennett Group are looking into Gundams. They're looking for the next thing because they're kind of running out of ideas. Again, that's part of the reason for the dueling game in the first place, part of the reason for those stupid kind of, where she did the big speech, Miorine, that kind of networking event or whatever it was. And that's where the Space Assembly League comes in, right? They're a direct competitor to Bennett, right? I thought, again, because it's not explained particularly well in my opinion, I thought that was some kind of governing body, and I was like, what's going on there? That's why they have investigators out. That's why they're doing the whole Ox-Earth thing. There's political motives there as well with the Ox-Earth involvement, wanting to advocate for Earthians, and again, sponsoring people like Dawn of Fold to help out with that kind of thing. I think that's where the investigators come in. It's not particularly well explained, but, were they internal affair agents that caught wind of what was going on above, didn't really like it, wanted to investigate some other stuff, wanted to undercut everybody else? Where does them wanting to interface with Miorine come into this? It's, again, all a bit up in the air for mine. I think this is where I'm digging my heels in a little bit. I think that we've kind of botched a little bit of that Soletta stuff, right? Upon the end of, 17, 18, that is the worst time ever for Soletta, and I feel like the show just kind of makes her get over it, right? For an equivalent, I think this is an equivalent of in another show, an anime character, like their family dying, like their parents dying or something, right? It's really up there based on her internal set of motivations. I think she just kind of gets over it too quickly. I wanted to see a really fucked up, depressed Soletta, because, again, she's such a bubbly, clumsy, carefree character. It'd be confronting, right? We'll want to get the old Soletta back. But I don't feel like the show has enough time to pay off on that kind of stuff, as it stands right now. I do like her eventual turn to, helping the victims, focusing on a humanist perspective. I think that's great. I just wish there was some more downtime in the middle of it, I guess. From here, we clarify some of the Shadiq stuff. Specifically, the Sarius Space Assembly League sending him over to do that side of it, right? What we can read into that is he is sacrificing the here and now, himself and his girls, for the greater good. Sending Sarius over to the Space Assembly League leads to the falling apart, the breaking apart of Bennett Group even more. We know that Space Assembly League also has Earthian motives in mind. He is willing and able to sacrifice his own personal success and his, adoptive father, per se, but also save him in the process, for Earthian motives. That's what we should get from this. That's the concrete stuff to take forward. On top of that, you also have the Shadiq personal grudge against Guel. So one, he thinks that Guel's influence somehow sparked this thing that's taking place in Quinn Harbor now, and leads to Miorine looking worse, and all she wants is peace and love, and especially for Earth, right? And Shadiq thinks that he's responsible. That's pretty strong. I got that from the episode. And again, all this is motivated on Shadiq's personal motivation, which is his affection for Miorine, right? And there was a level of trust there. Like, he didn't like it, but he kind of left Guel to Miorine, kind of thinking that, Jaturk is a big, powerful company. They can kind of protect her. That didn't eventuate. She still got hurt in the end. There's that frustration coming through because of that. But my question is, Shadiq knows that Prospera is the one, right? Shadiq knows that Prospera knows, And doesn't he literally talk about, knowing that she destroyed a bunch of those Elthrith mobile suits, right? How can't he put two and two together? Is he still blaming Guel for being but you should have protected her? It's well, no, that's not really how it works. Blame the enemy, not the person that didn't protect. And then there's a throwaway line there of, we could still use Prospera. Because Prospera's ultimate goal probably involves tearing apart Bennett Group anyway, so, hey, maybe pass the baton over to her and she can... Again, she probably has our best interests in mind, at least a little bit more than Bennett folk. Still wishy-washy. I don't like it. And yeah, we agree here that having Guel's brother listening in on the call, pretty ham-fisted. I don't think that that's... we can explain this away a little bit more, I think. We could actually talk about it, have a conversation. It's very... what's the word? Danganronpa. Where if we all just sat down and talked about it, we could probably solve this thing, but anyway, I digress. And last comment here today, we have Kasogtha. Firstly, talking about the Demi-Barding new frame we got. Very, very cool. I do like the space elevators. Good bit of lore. I like referencing it in the dialogue before actually seeing it for an audience. I don't know if these are a thing in all Gundam series, but I like them. I think they're neat. It's a great bit of sci-fi. Next up here we go into, I guess, a little bit of the science of it all as well. I think Kananji makes a gravity joke that Earth's gravity is fucking him up. It's not just a fat joke because he's fat. There's, legitimate implications here. There is a physical difference because of how they've been brought up between Spacians and Earthians. Think about Soletta as well. She's a very strong girl because she spent most of her childhood on Mercury, right? This paragraph here kind of goes into what I was talking about before. Kind of, this is Soletta's lowest moment. It is everything taken away from her, and we actually write it in pretty good prose here. Very good writer, Kasogtha. And the point of all this numbering being that, hey, our argument here is that we only really bring kind of Soletta back from a 0 to a 1. A marginal improvement, right? That's when we see her in class, attending class, and not really her mind on the thing, but at least she can be out and about. But when Nerea attacks again, she chooses. She moves forward and she saves people. The argument here being that through the course of that kind of 2-episode arc, she's realized kind of what she really wants to do here, divorced from her mother and Miorine and her purpose and her siblings and whatever, right? What does Soletta, as a human being, actually want here? And she wants to help people. I like this reference. In episode 1, her first instinct is to see somebody adrift in space and drop everything and help them. Think about it like a superhero story arc where somebody loses their powers. Do they still have the will to want to go and save people? If they do, then they've got that kind of true hero energy, real protagonist type shit. I like that. 2 things. I wish, if again this is the purpose of what they're trying to do, it was more straightforward, had more of a focus, and 2, we spent less time on other shit and more time on that. That's fascinating. As I've said multiple times, I think Soletta, Miorine, Prospera is where this thing is really singing. So focus in. Focus in on those characters. That's what we care about. Or I shouldn't say we. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but yeah, ending the argument here. She's not quite at a 2 again, but she's on the right path. She knows what she's thinking about. Or, how should I say this? She knows what she wants, right? She knows internally what the thing is that she desires. And that's half the battle, right? From here, we see Miorine's at a pretty low point. Is Soletta going to want to go through and save her? Does that put her in direct opposition with her mother? Time will only tell. And yeah, with that, we'll leave the YouTube comments for this week, and we'll jump over to that Patreon. One last week, Patreon is up there if you wanted to see that finale straight away. You can pay me $6. It's up to you. Many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, AJ, Banana Ramahama Damasama, Bisa, Bobbin, Capella, Chobo Ribby, Copley, Sinarin, Dapper Dwarf, Donkey26, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yanko Yavnen, Jacob R, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Zach. I'm going to say Shinshio Iyoshi, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Akomancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Bin Flu, Leal, and the Lazy Panda Man. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoyed the money. We've kind of set a lot of this stuff up already. I'm ready to just dive straight in. It was called The End of Hope, and The End of Hope for a reason. Everything's pretty bad for most people. Everything's bad, man. I guess concrete stuff, Prospera's doing her bit, getting away with it, which we don't like. Nerea's dead. Elan number 5 is going crazy. Soletta's picking up the pieces. Miorine's distraught. Guel, Jaturk family drama. Shadik's been captured. let's dive in. Episode 21 of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, coming right up. Rightio, I have episode 21, or episode 9 of Core 2, up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 52 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the Judas file set, so get that copy if you'd like my one. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1. Go. Oh yeah, Belle. I remember. An idea for a pilot, eh? Yeah, shit's pretty fucked. The school's destroyed. Nerea moment. Metaphor house, true. Wait, are they keeping them there? Huh? Are they allowed to do that? Is that our hero? Ah! What do you mean? Because I can. Yes? I don't think I've changed. I think I just realized. Well, yeah, I guess. I realized who I'm doing this for. It's kind of the vibe. Doing this for me. I'm doing this because I like doing it, damn it. I guess it's a weird thing to talk about, but I'd love to watch more Gundam. So I know that there's the new one coming out, which I'm interested in, but what's a good one to go back to? I know what people will say the oldest ones, but is there something a little bit more modern? I don't know. Again, open to suggestions there. Because I know I've been a little bit anti on the whole robot side of it, but the robots are cool, and I do like some big grand old sci-fi stuff. It's also being spurred on because in Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, which I'm reacting to at the moment as well, there's a lot of Gundam references, and I think that's quite funny too. Just kind of all coming together. So yeah, open ears on that kind of stuff. Yes. What was this episode called again? What We Can Do Now. She's not dead? Well, that's a bit... Yeah. There's been some information reveals there. Oh yeah, I guess she's de facto new president, right? I should have thought about that too, because they've taken Shadiq. Delling is waking up, by the way. Yes. I understand blaming yourself, I guess. But no, it wasn't you. It was the lady with the helmet. Oh, he looks hot. What the hell? Ooh, awkward. I'm throwing the book at all of them. So you made contact. Interesting. I do. Honey, I know you're feeling bad about yourself, but you're not a terrorist. Oh, tomato arc. Tomato, tomato. If it's a good tomato, eating it off rip like that it actually hits. It actually bangs. Normally, I'd like it on a piece of toast with a bit of salt and pepper. It'd be very nice. Oh, Choo Choo's getting in on the act too. She's giving out the metaphor tomatoes to everybody. Freezer tomato. Underground freezer. Fuck her. My tomato now. Oh, we're gonna do this? Okay, fair enough. What? Yeah, thank you. Sure. You were just confused, buddy. I don't think this... He screams like picky eater to me. Like he's gonna hate a tomato. Get him some chicken nuggets. Oh, Belle's here. Correct. Yeah. Are you allowed to be here? Yes, but see... Yeah, okay. I thought that they were some governing body of some kind. I thought that that was a thing. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Look at these freaks. But you're part of Bennerick Group. I see. Peel very smart here. War was declared. Very cool. Where is she? She's just hiding out. That little rascal, little rapscallion. Yes. What about them? Well, yeah. Interesting. But I still feel some kind of personal responsibility. I understand that for me, Renee. For sure. Correct. What's it? I love Elon. Stop your evil mother. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Bum bum bum. It gets complicated. I'd like you to tell me, because I'm still a little bit airy-fairy about it. Correct. A Replichild. Of course. Love this song too. Correct. Loved. Past tense. Oh, never mind. Huh. Go on then. Monster Gundam. Bakemono. Damn. Yeah, fucking get her ass, Sneaker. Well, she wasn't the one that suggested it either. Head up, champ. Come on. See, I like this, though. And I like Nika calling it out. Because she knows based on their conversations, right? In that room that they spent 2 straight weeks in. Yeah, she was good like that. But maybe I'm goaded too. Mm-hmm. Selflessness. Okay, based. I want to see the monster Gundam. I think that thing's pretty cool. Doesn't Jaturk have a machine that we need to see in action soon as well? Unless I'm stupid and it already has been. Also, it looks like Prospera's literally doing Quiet Zero right this second. Which, sure. Madam President? Maybe in your own mind. Dun dun dun! Oh shit, look at this Star Wars fucking BS. Yeah, it's fucking moved, right? I don't think you can, man. Well, time to do your bit. Take over their ass. Come on now. Oh yeah, these things, right? The things Belle was looking at. My, like, army of dudes. I don't think you guys are going to be that successful. Just a pacing thing. It's not your time yet, guys. Drone attack. Very cool. They're doing it. They're cooking. Murder them all. Major. Thank you, my murder daughter. So that we can go even bigger than that. Are we? I feel like we're towards the end. Yeah. Oh. Okay, this feels similar to a scene before between those characters. Alright, we're all in this together. High School Musical style. Oh! Even this little freak. They fucking hate Belle. That's funny. Did you know him? Yeah, not much. Thoughts? Yes. Mm-hmm. Really? 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 Okay. I'm happy with Miorine doing that internally. I think that's interesting. But external characters doing it? You're stupid. You're a dumbass. Anyway, clearly we're getting to something that I've wanted to be talking about like a very long time, or for a very, very long time, if I can speak. Jesus. Prospera's warped premise, right? Like this whole dichotomy, right? The Vanitas Ox Earth thing from the very start. We want to save lives, not take them, right? And kind of Ariel slash Eri being the perfect combination of what she's actually looking for, right? A person being able to survive in space, right? It's the perfect kind of, what's the word? Like demonstration, proof of concept of everything they're talking about, and yet we're still spinning that off into ultimately becoming a weapon that kills people? Fucking think, Prospera, for a second, buddy. You're being a big hypocrite. I wonder how we're going to get Miorine and Soletta to meet up again, because clearly that's coming at some point. I wonder if we'll leave that till next week. We'll see, I guess. Next episode title? The Woven Path. Of course. Little image too. Okay, you two. Still really like the green tomato as a metaphor there for Shadiq as well. But yeah, next episode we'll jump straight into 22. And there we have it, episode 22 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 52 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. Judas file set, picture in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1. Go. Evil robot. Oh yes, evil drone robot. Did they attack them again? Are they stupid? Just throw wave after wave of our own men into them. I do like the scale here. Like space opera, very like sci-fi epic. I like it. Oh, reversal. Not the Uno reverse, bro. She was pretty calm about that, considering. Okay, so it does have a limit. She looks sick. What the hell? Cloak. Cloaked Miorine. Oh, yeah. Based on the louder thing last episode, this is definitely like a louder Guel thing coming up. I don't know how you look at the situation erupting in front of you and say, it was her. Anyway. Just leave it. I never even liked Loud anyway. He's a little bitch. So it's in character for him to just be wrong. This show with 3 cores, though, might be pretty good. Anyway. It's a tale as old as time. Fucking anime should be longer. What's the worst one for that? Probably Wonder Egg Priority. Oh my god. A properly realized Wonder Egg Priority with a full 24 episodes is like a 10 out of 10, but it's just... They just didn't do that. And don't get me started on the ending. Anyway. See, I want these two to meet up and smooch and stuff. I think that'd be pretty epic. This is cute. Ooh. That's a pretty penny. But he's actually going to do something. So we all going, are we? A little bit. Everyone's kind of playing nice. Having an emotional conversation with Alan, of course. I really like that scene. I thought that was swell. She's pretty depressed. Oh, okay. What a loser. What? He's alright. He's chill. Yes? There's nothing straight about you. Nothing straight about a talk between those two. Not at all. This guy's just joking, bro. What do we... Sure. I thought it was going to be like a test or something. I'm kind of stunned. Why are we fencing? It's cool, though. Oh, the animation's sick. What? What is this Dune shit? Remember the duel? Not the duels, but they got the thing in Dune. It like helps them protect against. Anyway, she's still being a fucking cloaked figure in here. That's very cool. Oh, oh, little movement. I'd like your support. That'd be nice. I am. It's more for your sake. It was actually good for me. I liked it. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Yeah. Well, what do we say about moving forward? See, I like that. Come on now, how can that not get you up and about? Oh, lighting? And get married? But you... You didn't not do it, but you didn't do it either. Like, it wasn't you. Ooh, animation. See, but I like that haircut better still. So give her a hug or something. Come on now. Hand holding will do. I like that still. Again, as I keep saying, that's the strong part of the show. I like everything there. Our objective is world domination. Oh, she got dressed too. Yes. It's okay, we forgive you, buddy. Oh! What? Did Dad wake up? I didn't know that. Thoughts, Delling? Man, I've kind of been in a coma for weeks. Just lay off for a sec. I get that you're feeling passionate. Now, see, I always felt that Quiet Zero was always at Plant Coetta anyway. I don't know. The scene of the crime, so to say, I guess. Yeah, okay, about the midpoint. Only 60%? I see. That's why I thought Plant Coetta was involved. Of course, world domination. Yeah. Blindfolded, you say? Might need somebody to be my eyes for me? I'd like that quite a bit. I think that would be cool. Yeah, I also beat your ass in fencing, so shut up. Where's this louder guy? I know he's about to pop out of the walls or something. You killed my father? What kind of my father? You killed Eri's father. Some of us worse than others. Believe in the me that... Anyway. What's the trade? Do we want his bond? Either way, Shadiq is bemused about the whole thing. This guy hates talking to women. Yeah, drink lots of milk. That'll help. What are you talking about? What? They coated a tomato? I coated a tomato to tell you that I loved you. Maybe her mum was the world's biggest tsundere as well. Also, no way that tomato's that good. I don't care what you say. Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Pressure's on. Some kind of suicide mission. Score up. Yeah. This shit sucks. This is what we've been doing the whole time, bro. She dead, or...? She's still breathing. Alright, I passed the level requirement. Peel a little scumbags. I don't like those guys. Oh. Caliban. Take this, Mom. Murder all these drones. See, this is killing with impunity. There's no humans here. See, I'm feeling this. This is pretty good. Like, she's putting it on the line. Oh, and the music too. Oh, really now? Boo. Well, at least he knows it's his family in the robot this time. Oh, the pink explosions. I remember somebody mentioning them. I really like them. Yes. Eri, thoughts? There she is. You being piloted, or...? Damn. Really? I thought we had more time there. I guess it's delicately poised. Honestly, we're kind of a bit further than I thought we would be at this point. I thought we'd just kind of be gearing up to go do this thing by this point in the show, but nah, we're here. We're already in it. Yeah, I think this was an improvement over last week. Obviously, we had to get all the confusing minutiae out of the way past few weeks. It feels like we're actually getting to the heart of what's going on and the emotion a little bit more. We're cutting through. There was some really nice resonant scenes that I thought, again, like, it made me emotional. I felt things while watching it. Which is, again, I can't say that for every episode of the show. My only argument would be that, yes, I understand the Miorine blaming herself, but Lauda being a little bitch about it is just so contrived. But I get it. He's coping too because he's going through a lot. But just the lack of anybody's ability to lock it and say, hey, Prospera's actually the problem here is insane. The other side of it would be, I wish... You know how we saw Miorine at her lowest? I wish there was more of that for Soletta a bit early in the show. But again, pacing thing, I think. It was good. I enjoyed these two episodes. Next episode title? Unrelenting Tenderness. You make it sound like a threat. Oh, the whole squad's here. Hell yeah. And yeah, we'll jump into a little bit of analysis on those two episodes, shall we? And we're back. That was episodes 21 and 22 of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. What did I think? Broadly pretty positive on them, especially after kind of last week and honestly the week before where I was a little bit less positive on things overall. I think this is it's an improvement. Am I going to say that there was a few hiccups along the way? Yes. The fencing is inexplicable and Lauda's actions are groan-worthy, I think. But other than that, I think we're mostly there. I think we forced ourselves into a situation where we needed to make things harder than it was, right? But now that we've got the hard stuff out of the way, we can, again, as I said during the ED, we could kind of just focus on the emotions a little bit more, which is nice, right? Focusing up a little bit more on Miorine, Soletta, a little bit of Prospera there, but mostly Prospera as a motivation for those two. That's the strongest stuff in the show. Like the Elan stuff here as well, particularly that scene with Soletta in episode 22. Just, yeah, all connecting a little bit more, I think, this week, which is good. And I feel like we've got a nice, easy path to a conclusion that is satisfying. We have all the right players in the right positions. Soletta and Prospera are going to take center stage next episode, you would think, and then we may go and expand out a little bit more, involve Earth as Prospera potentially is quite successful. We'll see. Especially, yeah, again, if she goes to Earth, we'll see the ramifications there. We saw a downtrodden Miorine. I think, again, it's easy from the outside looking in for potentially a critic to be like, she's blaming herself a lot here. It wasn't really her fault, and she's really down in the dumps about it when, again, she's got a lot of responsibility on her shoulders. She's the president now. She really shouldn't be so down in the dumps and down on herself and stuff. But I think people that say that haven't been paying attention to how vulnerable of a character Miorine really is, and how even now a lot of her actions and her guilt are manifesting in the guilt that she feels regarding Soletta, right? It's not all about, again, the things that I may have been complicit in doing, the atrocities and so forth. It's the fact that I betrayed my friend in doing so, right? And I particularly went and sided with that friend's mother, who is, no good, who's doing bad things. I think that's where a lot of this is starting, at least, and then everything else is just piling on top of that, right? It's easy for us to say that she just got coerced. She feels responsibility there, right? The curse of the Gundam, indeed. I liked exploring that, these 2 episodes, for sure. I also thought there was a nice scene, I think it was around here, where we just kind of sit down and Soletta actually just does exposition at us for like 2 straight minutes. Please, thank you, Soletta. She actually just in plain terms explained the state of play. Something that the show could have done a while ago. That's why fish out of water characters are really nice, because you can do something like this, catch people up to speed, and get the audience involved as well. I feel like we should have used this technique a little bit more earlier, I think. I don't know. I was confused, and I like to think I'm paying attention, at least a little bit. But either way, we'll go back through here. Lots to see, these 2 episodes here, of course. Let's recount them. So I looked up a name for old mate. His name is Guston, the Space Assembly guy that was with Feng Jun. He's with Belmeria now. They're like, okay, shit, this is bad. We're gonna need a pilot, right? Because we've got this mobile suit. I think I have somebody in mind. And then they start going towards the school. Clearly Soletta is that person in mind there, of course. And that's a great setup for us to see what's going on at the school at the moment, see how things have changed since the events of episode 20. And again, a really nice pacing thing here. We're just actually taking a step back, doing some nice wide shots of the effects on the school, checking in with a few disparate characters here and there, just getting a kind of vibe of the location a little bit more. It doesn't feel like it has to be on fast forward because we need content to get through. It feels like we can feel a moment for a second. Again, it's quite nice. This is all also a backdrop for Soletta to be weaving her magic, continuing on from what she said at the end of the last episode, which is that there's people that need help, so I'm going to go and help them. It's clear to see now that whoever commented that in the start of the video, I believe it was Kasogtha, was quite correct. That was the start of this new kind of, what's the word? Like, understanding of herself from Soletta, right? Like, she's gone from this position in the show where she was being manipulated by her mother, right, to the point where she felt no remorse for killing people and that kind of side of it, right, to being discarded, forced to think about what she actually values as a person, and then coming out on the other side and, practicing what she preaches, right? Wanting to actually be here and help people and getting a newfound sense of confidence in that process. Culminating, of course, by the end of this episode, or the midpoint, where she's able to sit down in plain terms and actually talk about what happened. If that's not acceptance, if that's not the end of the kind of 5 stages of grief there, then I don't know what is, right? Do I think that's too quick? Do I think that I could have used the Soletta Focus episode in there where we actually work through this a little bit strongly? With more strength? Yes, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate what's there. Specifically going from when she was holding out that bloody hand, a mere tool in kind of Prospera's game. Like, she says kill, I will kill. To being able to think for herself and being kind of standing opposing her mother because I morally disagree with things that she's doing and things that she's done to my friends. Or at least wanting to have a chat, or at least clarify things, not blindly following. Progress, character development, we love it. We love it, folks. It's also clear to me now to see what we were doing with Petra. So that little kind of cute relationship between Petra and Lauda was just a kind of final nail in the coffin for this contrived Lauda motivation, right? He says it at the end of the episode. He's like, Petra ended up like this because of Miorine, shakes fist broadly at the sky. yeah, again, that's why we did it. I don't like it, but that's why we did it. It's clear because that was a bit of a head scratcher last week. I'm like, why did we kill her? Or not kill her, gravely injure her? That is why, to motivate another character. It's clear that there's been some kind of time skip from the end of last episode as well. Miorine has been declared president, right? She's new president of Bennett Group, but isn't in a place mentally to be taking on those kind of responsibilities. Shadiq, we've kind of dug a little bit deeper there, found out that he was harboring the people that he was harboring. And yeah, this being a point in time where the Space Assembly League can make their move, right? We have proof here that you guys are doing bad stuff. We wanted to get rid of you guys anyway. Let's move in. This is what makes the move from Peel very fun too, where they kind of defect because they see that the tide's turning. It's very, very, the way Peel is, always looking at the numbers, always looking at who's going to end up on top and following kind of the crowd in turn there. Very calculating and not very human, as that kind of branch of the company has always seemed. We then meet up with Miorine. She's not feeling too great. I talked about this in the reaction. I don't agree that she should feel this way because she blames herself for simultaneously the attack, or not the attack, the riots in Quinn Harbor kind of erupting and that kind of conflict taking place, the lives taken on Earth, as well as all the stuff that happened at the school. She blames herself simultaneously for both. Again, I think that's way too far. That's a bridge extremely far, right? Like, yeah, the argument is you trusted Prospera. So Prospera is, she's the catalyst for everything in the show. So by trusting her, I gave her a leg up. She was able to enact her part of the plan. Blah, 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 blah. I suck. Again, I don't agree, but I think that you would think that. And that's more important, and it creates emotional drama. It's nice. You know what's crazy with dudes? You can put them in this shirt, and no matter what, make it like loose and open the chest up a little bit, they'll look hot every single time. And I'm not even like that. They just do, right? Like, look at him. There's something about him. Roll those sleeves up too. Damn. I don't know, maybe my small percentage of female audience can speak to this in a little bit more authority. I don't know. I guess my small percentage of female audience that is also straight, which might not exist. Anyway. Miorine then goes and has a chat with Shadiq. It doesn't seem like Shadiq regrets anything that he does. He saw that the ends always justified the means, and I really, really wanted what I wanted, right? I do think there's a nice subtlety in the conversation. I think there's a part here where Shadiq basically implies that he did a lot of this for you, which again then, you take that on board and act accordingly, Miorine. I think that's a pretty good note on the scene. There's kind of unspoken tension between these two characters based on their implied history. Again, the Miorine pity party also continues because she's like, I'm just as bad as you, Shadiq. And I'm like, well, you're not a terrorist, so you're not quite as bad, but you are complicit in terrorism. I think there's enough of a difference there. It's all about intent, of course. Back at the school, we have Soletta giving out tomatoes that have been kind of kept in a fridge away from the destruction and giving them out to everybody and helping them feel better, right? So the tomato metaphor is quite broad. You can take it in multiple different directions, of course. The show seems to be associating with Earth and love, of course. Kind of, again, this small kind of shape, very red, like a heart almost. Filled with blood too, very human, or juice, red stuff. You know what I'm talking about. It's also a great counter to all this Spacian technology and all the kind of metallics and, the design of the uniforms and so forth. Very organic as opposed to that kind of other part of the design. It is a giving of something real in a time and a place that is full of lies and deceit and pretense and corruption and all sorts of things, right? It's a genuine show of emotions. It's doing a lot of stuff. I like the metaphor tomato. That metaphor goes to the nth degree when we find out in the genetic code of the tomato there is a message of love from Miorine's mother to her. So, again, literally giving a love, almost a parent's love, to all these different people in their time of need. I don't know about the tomato code part. I think that's ultimately quite ridiculous. It's fun, though. But yeah, I do like the giving out of the tomatoes here. It's also kind of like I'm channeling Miorine and what Miorine wanted to do with these tomatoes, at least on some level. Giving that out to everybody, making things feel better. Yeah, it's good. I like Tomato. I like even Choo Choo getting in on the act, being a little bit tsundere about it all in the process. Very, very cool. Now, as somebody that's worked with a lot of fresh produce in his time, how long have these tomatoes been sitting refrigerated? Again, let's just say they have sci-fi refrigeration. My point is that they go kind of bad and not quite as crisp on the skin, a little bit kind of loose and not great. You can still eat them, obviously, but yeah, you wouldn't want to be keeping them in a fridge too long. Earth House kind of vows to give out more tomatoes, and they go off to do their little thing before Martin pulls Anika aside for a little bit of a conclusion on their whole thing that they've had through the show. Martin apologizing for not trusting her, and then Nika vowing to do this on her own terms and not kind of use kind of backdoor shady means to get what she ultimately wanted. Even though it was appealing, I was still being used as a piece in somebody else's game. I wanted to divorce myself of all that other kind of stuff and, you know, do it on my own terms. That's kind of what she's vowing to do here. How they do this, I think, is a little bit clunky, but ultimately I do think that we needed some kind of conclusion for this part of the story. So I'm happy that we did it, I guess. But again, pulling both characters aside and just kind of facing each other and doing it feels a little bit odd. Yeah, ultimately all's well that ends well. Even Martin saying, hey, if you're ever in trouble like that again, you can always tell us this kind of stuff. No need to keep the secrets, no need to have a repeat of last time. Oh yeah, we see his name there, Guston Parch. Not Gaston, that's a different guy. It's also on the sub, I'm stupid. Anyway, point being that they finally found her, it's time to do the old exposition corner with Soletta. Confusion hat, I require context hat placed on. Didn't we say that Space Assembly League was a rival, like, corporation? We're saying here that they're administrative. Like, what is their actual status? Are they doing this for greedy corporate reasons, or are they doing this as a part of a governing body? Or are they also doing this as revenge, because they're kind of Ox-Earth-pilled as well? Like, why is Space Assembly doing anything that they're doing? They're a bit confusing to me. I'd like some clarification. Ultimately, you don't need to know, because you can still interpret the scenes as this kind of Space Assembly crew with Guston and whatever are very different from the other dudes that are attacking Quiet Zero later on. They have a different set of motivations. Yeah, I think it ultimately still comes together. I've talked about this already. Love this move from Peel, defecting. It's like the perfect strategic move. Like a line hit a certain other line on a graph, and it's like, oh, it's time to defect. No sense of loyalty, just raw numbers. That's what it feels like to me. And effectively, this is kind of the casus belli, or whatever you wanted to say, for war to be declared between the two, right? Hey, Bennett, you're an endanger to yourself and others, blah, 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 blah. Let's go fucking kill him. And through this whole time, we have Prospera Mercury in hiding. We haven't been able to locate her since her antics on Earth in Quinn Harbor. So, yeah, it's all very convenient. It's all falling down on Bennett. And yeah, who's the president of Bennett? Miorine. She's already in a bad way. She's already feeling like shit. Now she's being attacked. Now she's taking responsibility of the company, and it's all coming tumbling down for her. She's having a really bad day. I don't think quite on the level of Soletta's really bad day from a couple of episodes ago, but at least in the vicinity. Now, I love this. We get a call from Sarius Zanelli here, of course, the actual president who's been kidnapped and is kind of sitting with the Space Assembly League as it stands right now. Because, again, the lack of his presence in the company at present is the thing. It was one of the things holding back Bennett from falling. So Shadiq ultimately wanted Bennett to fall, like the Assembly League, then doing this with Sarius was the right move. Cool. Sarius then advises Miorine to use Grassley as the scapegoat, right? To square it all on them and cut them off, right? That's what I would do in this position. That's what your father would do in this position. That's what anybody without kind of, you know, corporate brain would do. We want to be a going concern. We want to continue to persist. This is what must happen. But, important moment for Miorine, she doesn't do that. She doesn't want to be like her father. She doesn't want to be like all these other guys. She wants to stay true to her ideals. She doesn't want to sacrifice anybody else as well, because she knows that there'll be long-standing ramifications for people associated with Grassley as well. She feels like she already has too much blood on her hands in that regard. She wants to do this with honor, right? And she wants to live up to that initial mission statement, which is very humanist and very kind of, you know, we don't want people to die and that kind of stuff. Like, she wants to continue to live those ideals, and I think that's strong, even in her kind of weakest moment here. I kind of talked about the scene already as well. I really like us just sitting down and hashing things out and actually just saying what we're going to do. It's nice to establish some stakes for a final conflict. It's nice that I have something concrete in my brain when things start, elevating towards the very end of this thing. I know what Prospera's goal is. I know what Soletta's goal is. It's nice, right? So for the record, we have Prospera, who wants to put a big fucking data storm ball around Earth and take control, right? And yeah, the kind of backdrop to this is that Benerit and the Assembly League or whatever are in conflict, and we want to nip this in the bud before that occurs, because that could be bad. But Soletta just comes out straight and says it here: reasoning with my mom is pretty much impossible. If I know my mom, there's one thing that she cares about, and it's Eri. If her actions in episode 17, 18, one of them, didn't express that, then I don't know what did. This also frames Soletta being able to talk about her status as a enhanced human, kind of replichild, which is a bit weird. Important that Elan number 5 is listening to this as well, because it frames that nice conversation that we have next episode. Soundtrack through this scene also really helps you feel the emotions of it. As I said, in the stages of grief, this is Soletta accepting it, which is important. Specifically the moment here where she admits that I was just a key in the process of her getting to the point where she could make Eri a thing again. That's understanding what I am to her, That doesn't mean she doesn't care about me, but that I'm not her number one is kind of the vibe there. But Soletta admitting that she can't be reasoned with comes with consequences as well, right? So if she can't be reasoned with, what do we need to do? Well, I have a machine, right? The Assembly League confiscated during the Vanitas incident all that time ago, right? It's a Gundam. It's a Gundam nicknamed Monster. Bakemono, of course. Very, very cool. Hey, if she can't be reasoned with, let's take the fight to her, and I reckon you're the pilot to do it. Okay, I think I understand this a little bit better now as well, because I thought this Nika Bell thing kind of came out of nowhere, but let's break it down. So, we want Soletta to pilot Gundam. Bell then freaks out because Gundam doesn't have any limiters on it. The data storms are very, very, they suck. They're gonna hurt her. She's gonna experience immense pain in trying to do this thing. Bell doesn't want any part in that anymore, right? Now, Nika thinks that that's somewhat hypocritical, because you were fine and dandy with doing that all your time at Peel, but now you don't want to do that kind of thing in the here and now? Did you disregard all those Elans and that kind of side of it? How are you able to do that and not be okay with this in the here and now? It doesn't make sense. You're a hypocrite. And again, Belle knows that in her own mind, and that causes her to spiral, and then Elan even takes some shots later on in the scene. It all sucks for Belle, but I see why they got there, I guess. It kind of came out of nowhere in the scene for me, but I can kind of retroactively see what we were trying to do. I wonder what we're going to do with Belle's character ultimately, because, where does she go from here? She's so very pathetic here. As an adult, I'm still feeling all this stuff from 21 years ago, and all that kind of... what's her happy ending look like, I guess? Does she atone? Does she have to atone? I don't know, it's a weird one. We do love our characters eavesdropping on scenes and learning things. Yeah, this whole part. Yeah, because we did that with Miorine a few episodes ago now. I like it. He's very sneaky, Elan. It's cool. So everyone's worried about Soletta, but who does the ultimate decision really land with? Herself. It lands with Soletta, right? And just as everybody's kind of worrying about her and doting over her, she's like, no, I actually want to do this. I want to have a conversation with my sister, kind of, and my mother, right? That is something that I want to do. Even if I don't gain anything, it's not move forward, gain 2. Even if I don't gain 2, I have to do what I can. This is a nice turn on that kind of phrase that we've said through a lot of the show, right? And her embodying the traits of a hero. A hero is ultimately selfless, and that's what she's exhibiting here, right? If this is the greater good, if this saves Earthian lives as well, it's something that I must do. And it's a responsibility that I can only do. It's kind of, what's the word? Fucking great power, great responsibility. She's feeling that responsibility because she's the only one that can change things here. And again, I've talked about it. Very quick for this arc, but I like where it's ultimately gone. I'm really feeling this for Soletta, kind of growing into herself, doing a lot of growing up here. Now, I don't know where Quiet Zero kind of popped out from, because Quiet Zero now seems to be a big old fucking thing in space that looks like that. But it popped out of somewhere, and Prospera's inside, and Ariel's inside, and we're putting our plan into place. It's very awesome. For the rest of this episode, basically, it turns into a okay, let's demonstrate the power of Quiet Zero show. And I think, for the record, they do the scale and the sci-fi of it quite well. I think the look of Quiet Zero itself is nice. I like the intimidating fleet of the Space Assembly League coming through. Even the kind of asteroids here out in space, giving it some semblance of protection. The little kind of drone Gundams flying out as well. Gun drones or something, whatever we called them. Yeah, I think that all comes together quite well. Some nice space organ in the soundtrack too. Very, very cool. So what the Space Assembly League are doing at the moment, they're like, that's kind of caught us off track, because we're on our way to go and seize Bennett Group right now, but, well, this will be evidence of Bennett Group and their thing, their kind of misgivings as well, right? So let's move towards this thing. Because otherwise they wouldn't have cared and continued on with their mission, I guess. For a wide-scale kind of space battle with the Gundams, I think that this is a marked improvement on episode 19's, or episode 20's? Episode 20's, between Shaddiq and Guel. I feel like it's a lot more legible, feel like the scale is much wider as well, feel like it's actually, I understand its significance in the plot a lot more. I'm here for this fight, you know. Some of the color coordination stuff's really nice too. We've seen Ariel in the past, when she's turned it on, she goes this kind of blue color. That's also resonating with the kind of activation of this big data storm technique, even now, right? Some nice consistency. Yeah, visual identity. We've seen this kind of stuff around Ariel in the past. This thing acts as an amplifier for it. We get this big kind of ball of space where we can just control things. That works. That follows logically. And yeah, leads to all these manned Gundams being sitting ducks. People dying out here, man. And of course, this contributes to the Miorine feeling bad part of it. Like, oh, more people are dying because I helped Prospera. I helped her get to this point where she's doing the Quiet Zero thing. Quiet Zero also has explicit ties to both of my parents as well. I'm kind of the end point of all of this. Of course she's feeling some kind of way about that. Yeah, this is, again, where she kind of spirals and gets all kind of blanketed later on. I can kind of believe that a lot more now. Yeah, look at her go. She fucking hates it. So from here, Guston gets word of what just happened with Quiet Zero in space. And yeah, seems serious. Let's go, Soletta. And then everyone's like, wait. We're coming along too. And they bring their own kind of justifications for it. Again, it's nice seeing everybody stand up. They've grown a sense of camaraderie over the runtime of the show. Even Elon getting in on the act, of course, because he feels some kind of way about all this stuff. He feels a bit of passion now, especially based on what Soletta was talking about. Yeah, very cool. I like this because it pays off on the large cast in a cool way. It's nice that we're bringing everyone along. It feels important. It feels like all these different relationships that we forged are leading into the climax, are leading into that kind of final mission. And yeah, I don't think we need to talk about the louder Miorine thing. It's just poor. Let's move on to the next episode. On to the next episode now. You have to remember there's a week between these things, because if not, this scene feels a little bit redundant. It's like, yeah, we just had a grand demonstration of Quiet Zero's power against the Assembly League. Do we need another one? Probably not. It's still cool, though. I like the reversal of the missiles. I think that was a great technique. But, a little bit too much too quick, I think. It just feels like they're throwing wave after wave of their own men into this thing, which they really shouldn't. Anyway, I digress. Am I the only one that thinks, like, she looks sick here? She just looks awesome. She looks like some kind of, like, hidden warrior or something, right? Like, you know, in Lord of the Rings, where fucking Strider is sitting in the kind of back of the bar? She looks like that. It's fucking... I like the look. Keep the cloak. It's kind of cool. Back at the school now, we see Choo Choo getting back in on the action using Cecilia's family's fucking Gundam again, or robot mobile suit. Yeah, which is fun. There's a money element there. I don't know if that'll come up again, but Ryoji, this kid, he's interested in the Quiet Zero thing. He wants to come along too. I wonder where that'll go, because he's kind of been dormant for a lot of the show. So I wonder if he'll provide some insight that'll help in the 11th hour. Seems pretty switched on about all this kind of Gundam stuff, so it'd be nice to get his perspective. I do like this scene as a kind of ultimate conclusion for the politics of the school and the clashing there. It feels like everyone's come together and is rallying behind Earth House, especially they're feeling very nice about them based on the tomato stuff and the caring for people stuff, and, you know, they're actually going to go out and do something. We forged some real connections here. It feels nice. It's like we've come full circle. We've gained the respect of our peers. Very, very cool. And then, of course, I really like this scene. I've kind of talked about it already, but this really kind of open conversation between Elan, who's been full of secrets the entire show, and Soletta. I think it's just really, I like the sunset for the setting. I like it kind of this payoff for this kind of back and forth will they won't they thing that Elan and Soletta have had throughout time. I think this is all of them kind of coming to terms with their own ultimate purpose and their creation and their part in the world, but also overcoming that and becoming their own people. These two characters have a lot to build off of that concept. This is just really good. Really, really good. Even some of the framing early, Elan's facing away, right? Arms crossed. You're facing this way, you know? We're not seeing eye to eye quite yet, sitting down. But through the course of the scene, both standing up and facing each other, nice touch. Really, really nice touch. And yeah, as I said, this conversation is all about finding their own purpose. Elan questions if, you know, you ever thought about running away? Like, just, you know, because that was kind of the ultimate point of what Miorine was trying to do as well, and what kind of Prospero was trying to do in turn. I'm letting you free. You can go do whatever you want. You don't have to be here anymore, but I chose to, and that's the important part, right? There are things that I wanted to do and people that I wanted to do them with, and, you know, that's spurring things on. Elan here at this time, after hearing that, pulls out Naria's book, right? Sees that, you know, drawing that she did. She was also a character that did things for a purpose, right? She was a character that, like, what's the word? She wasn't going to run away. She wasn't going to take things lying down. And now I have something that I want to do in turn. I respected Nerea and what she represented so much that I want to do similar things now. Even look at this, even making a little bit of a love heart too. Very, very cool. So much like Soletta, Elan now has something that he wants to do as well, and a reason why he can't run away, right? He must move forward as well, even if he doesn't gain too. He doesn't all the way go through with it yet. He still just says that he envies Soletta, but I get the feeling that he still has a part to play in all of this, right? From here we move very quickly. Miorine's still all holed up in her room, not talking to anybody. Soletta's made her way to where Miorine is, wanting to have that conversation, wanting to talk with her and talk things through. Obviously looking down at her little keychain at the end of that conversation with Elan, that's what's kind of spurring this on. Very quickly we run into Guel, who gets kind of word that she wants to do this. Guel then stands in the way. Now, tell you what this smells of. This thing is based on a Shakespeare, no? This smells of a scene that they had to include because it was in the Shakespeare, but they really shouldn't have. That's why they're dueling with swords, per se. I don't know, it just really comes out of nowhere. What is even Guel trying to do here? Test her resolve? Right? Does she really want to do this? Do you have that winner's mindset anymore? Like, what was the point of any of that? And they're fencing? Nobody's ever fenced before in the show? It's kind of goofy. Is it a new Tanner reference? Because they do a lot of kind of sword battles in that. I'm confused. I don't know why. It's very funny, though. It's also nice to recite part of the whole dueling kind of motto and speech again. It's nice, you know, circular narrative stuff. It comes back at the end. Very, very cool. And for the record, the fencing battle is quite well animated. Probably one of the highlights of the kind of 2-episode session, animation-wise. I just wish it was more explicable. I can't really explain why they did it, but they did it. And, you know, Soletta won the right to see Miorine, I guess. Oh, I missed that as well. He also transferred holder status and changed her uniform. Very, very cool. Kind of see it here. She kind of goes from that grey to that white. Okay, that's kind of neat. I like that. It's kind of just like a everything going back to normal type thing. This conversation between Miorine and Soletta is another highlight. Again, their relationship is one of the strongest in the show. I love it demonstrating the growth and kind of development that Soletta's had, that kind of change of blind acceptance of whatever my mother says, and blind acceptance of whatever I say as well. She's grown a little bit of wherewithal about it, thought about her actual priorities, and she's going and pursuing it, right? That's really nice. I've seen Soletta grow without me, you know? Not before my very eyes, but away from them. I'm obviously conflicted. I wanted to be there for that kind of stuff, but, you know, I wasn't because I was the catalyst for it. I must feel pretty bad about that, you know? But still, we have Soletta on the other side, still wanting to be friends, offering the olive branch. Making this choice alone is scary. I would like to have you by my side. But Miorine isn't going to give any convenient pep talk here at this time. No, I feel kind of disheartened, you know, based on everything. And me tearing you away from your mother as well. I just feel awful about all of it. But this is something, again, explicitly in the plot, that Soletta can relate to. Like, Miorine feels like she's got blood on her hands. I literally had blood on my hands, right? I can talk to you about that and how I moved my way through it. And yeah, we're framing this as kind of an epiphany that kind of Soletta had after the events at the school, after what Nerea did. What's done is done. I can't take what I've done back. You know, I've made mistakes in the past, but I have to move forward, you know? And again, explicitly there, even if there's nothing to gain. It's not move forward, gain 2 anymore. It's move forward despite everything. I like that flip. I think it's really strong. It's a strong writing decision, I think. Because again, like Prospera is looking to move forward and gain 2, you know, continuously. She wants to gain and gain and gain and gain. There's no selfless motivation in all of it. You know, it's revenge, even though justified, but it's greedy revenge, you know? And yeah, we give a nice pep talk, right? Miorine doesn't want to make mistakes again. Well, guess what? Meeting you was never a mistake, Miorine. I've only become this person because of your influence. And the lighting there changing, giving her a little bit more of a bright kind of spark of hope. And yeah, even a date. Come with me to Earth. I want to make good on what I've done to Earth, but I can't do that alone. But I can't turn my back on it. Like, I need you. I need some help here. We're going to be that dynamic duo that pick each other back up. It's all very gay. We love it. And yeah, another important moment here, of course, being, hey, may I open the door? No, I'm going to do it myself. You know, I'm going to get up out of my little kind of cloak corner and change things. I'm going to switch back on here. Love to see it. Paired with a great animation moment here as well. On the legs. Very, very cool. And why is this doing it for me a lot more than the fucking corporate mommy look? I don't know. I'm liking this more, though. I'm with this. It's very relatable. This may have been what I looked like this morning, but like way worse. And yeah, we're back to hand-holding again, which is all just well and good. We have a small reconciliation scene here between the Earthians and Miorine based on what she's done. She kind of fucked him over, so... either way, Delling's back awake, which is crazy, where she basically just tells him off. She tells him, you better stay alive, lousy father. And also, I'm not going to run away anymore. I'm going to move forward, of course. It's nice that she's proclaiming it out. And this is a look of concern. Maybe even a little smile here. You can kind of see it. A little bit of pride in her daughter. Love to see it. We forget that Delling's like a giga murderer, though. Anyway, again, the whole show is about making mistakes in the past and trying to atone for them, so yeah, maybe we'll let Delling off the hook a little bit. We gotta live and let live, because you know who's not living and letting live? Fucking Prospera. She's holding that grudge, baby. So it seems like there's some kind of MacGuffin. There was something in Plant Cueta that was going to, like, super giga power up Quad Zero that Delling is now in possession of. So... I think that's the thing that we're doing now. It's unclear, but we don't really need to know because it's more about the personal stuff for Soletta, I think. We get to talking a little bit here about the logistics of the upcoming battle, right? Because if she activates this kind of globe field thing, no mobile suit that uses any kind of permit technology can withstand it. It just gets instantly kind of taken over, right? And then we die, like the Assembly League died. So what can we do? We need to take in Gundams of our own and achieve a certain permit score. Fair enough. What we're also saying here is that the Demigarding, which is the one that Choo Choo's going to pilot, I believe, that is Cecilia's machine, it has an option to switch the cockpit to like a manual mode, right? And we're equating that to almost driving blind. I like to think that this is a reference to early in the show when we're doing that scene where Miorine and Soletta need to work together and she needs to like not use certain aspects of her bot, remember? Like there was a whole minefield segment. I'd like to feel like that's coming back, in a cool way, kind of coming full circle and that kind of stuff. Yeah, kind of flying blind and needing the help of my crew behind me to save the day. I think that's where we're going, and I think that's fucking awesome. That's some anime, man. It's cool. Yeah, bet. Okay, so this is like Banner at HQ or whatever. So we're evacuating everybody because, again, Quiet Zero wants to come in here and get a thing. Whatever that thing is. Delling has it, I think. So if the big scary Quiet Zero's coming here, get everybody out of here. Oh yeah, I understand the framing of the battle a lot more now. This is an interesting little pep talk as well. We have Shadiq and Miorine meeting up again, where Miorine's like, hey, we've both done crappy things, but we need to make good on them in the end. Shadiq's still very coy about it, but I think he's taking some of this to heart. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shadiq fighting for our side at some point during this climax. Yeah, we don't really pay off on this trade concept that we talk about, so again, one to watch as we move forward. What are we trading for? And yeah, Shadiq's able to chuckle to himself, seeing a brand new Miorine from the one he saw mere days ago. Like, she's way back, she's picked up again, it's good. And because he likes her, almost like, he's just a fan of Miorine as a person more than a romantic interest. So seeing her happy again is a tick in kind of Shadiq's favor. He likes that shit. Okay, now we get to a controversial section. So what do we say? We say there's a word. Let's do the word thing. NR400 or 400 Anesidoria or Dora, excuse me, meaning she who sends gifts from the earth. My mother, Nutret. That's kind of what we're getting at here. So that's what Ryoji looked up in the kind of sequencing of the tomato. It said this word, Anesidora, along with other things, some kind of cipher or code saying, I will always be attached to you, Miorine. This is from Mum, pretty evidently. That's what the tomatoes have represented the entire time. Now, we've made the metaphor quite explicit in a pretty stupid way. I think I'm landing on liking it. I think it's ridiculous enough to work. It is so pointed, though. It's so obvious. Yeah. Tell me what you guys think. It made me laugh. It's half the fun, I think. And yeah, damn. There's no way that tomato is that good that you need to be suckling on it like that. That's some crazy talk. Also, Miorine ends that scene by saying we'll grow some tomatoes together in the future, which is basically a confession in my books. Not much to say about this next scene, where we have Soletta kind of upping the permit score and feeling the data storm for the first time. There's some nice intensity to it. I like the soundtrack to go along with the scene. You kind of really feel the kind of weight of this whole thing on her shoulders after living a life of not feeling this weight. I think that's pretty cool. Like, oh shit, this is what everyone's been going through this entire time? That's fucked up. I think that's a cool element to the scene. Kind of coming full circle on the whole Elan number 4 situation. Like, where he kind of felt the opposite. It's like, you get to feel this all the time, and all the pain that I've gone through, causing him to crash out back in the day. Yeah, this is her finally kind of feeling the other side. But yeah, I mean, she clears score 5. Did Sophie get that far? I forget. How about Nerea? How far did they go again? I forget. 5 seems pretty high, and 5 allows her to exist in the data storm, which is half the battle. And yeah, finishing out here, we have an action scene from Soletta, kind of fighting against some of the drones and stuff that Ariel has with Quiet Zero. It being a surprise for Prospera and Eri seeing Soletta like this again, right? We thought that she'd gotten away, but actually she's piloting a different suit and coming in and saving the day. This isn't to the script. This isn't what I expected. There's some nice kind of I'm foiling the villain's plan type energy to it. And yeah, if we can expect more action scenes similar to this as we move into that climax, I think we're in good hands. Feels really good. The soundtrack's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Well animated, well choreographed. Good fights. Also, yeah, normally Soletta very calm, but obviously kind of like hyperventilating, heavy breathing, really feeling the strain of it all. It was easy to say move forward, gain 2 in the past. It's not so easy to move forward without any return, like thing in return, and moving forward and piloting this Gundam, and it actually hurting me physically, right? I'm actually living up to kind of Nerea and Sophie and what they were going through as well. It's just all hitting. This is some good shit. Now, boo. Boo. We have Lauda and Guel fighting, which is just groan worthy, as I've said. Let's just park that. We'll finish that can of worms off next week, I think. Yeah, but this has kind of happened twice now, right? I was rewatching the episode here, and I didn't expect it to end here. I kind of just wanted it to keep going. We have Ariel, and by extension Eri, popping out of Quiet Zero to go have a chat. There will be a fight between these two as of next episode, right? And it'll kind of be a reconciliation between these two characters in the process as well. I think that'll be swell. I look forward to that greatly. And yeah, again, I came to stop the both of you. There's actual conflict here between like the clone and the real one. What? It's crazy shit. And yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm a lot more positive on that session as opposed to the previous one. I think, again, we've gotten all the bullshit out of the way. We're just doing the show. I'm feeling the emotions of it all. Yeah, it's just hitting. It's hitting good again. We focused up. We focused up, I think. Very happy about it. Next episode, looking forward to it. Obviously, the finale. Yeah, I have high hopes. We'll see. Yeah, I'll see you guys then. Not much else to say. Yeah, Discord, like the video, subscribe, Patreon. I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.